everyone, and welcome back to Mech Tech with Mr. Sullivan. We're going to continue the Lego person series. In this video, we're going to make the head for the Lego person. So let's go ahead and get started. First, what we're going to do is we're going to take these two back here, and we're going to select them. I don't know why that ungrouped. That was weird. We're going to select both of them and we're going to lock them. Okay, so all I did is I clicked on the little lock back here in the inspector window. That makes it to where I can't move them around. I can't select them. I can't group them with something else. Just make it a little bit easier so we can still utilize this work plane, okay? So the first thing we're going to do for the head is we're going to bring out a cylinder. And we are going to change the number of sides because we want it to be nice and smooth. And then we are going to resize it. We're only going to resize the X and Y to 41. So 41 by 41 by 20. Okay. And then we're going to lift it 20. Remember, you're looking at this number right here. So we want to lift it up 20. All right. Now we have essentially the main portion of the head right there. Now we need to create the rounded portion on top and bottom. So we are going to use a half sphere. So we're going to bring that out. We're going to lower the Z down to 7.5. And then we're going to take this and we're also going to go to 41 by 41. And that is going to be the rounded portion of the head. Now we're going to take that, we're going to lift it up 20, just like we did with the cylinder here. And then we're going to select both of them. We're going to align them. So we want to go centered here. And then we want to go centered here to where, unless you look underneath, you really won't be able to see the half sphere. The reason why we did that is because now we can select the cylinder, press the D button on your keyboard, drops it down, perfectly aligned. Kind of cool, huh? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the half sphere. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to move it off to the side. And then I'm actually going to group these two together. So I'm going to group them like this. Once it is done there, we'll give it a minute. I'm going to flip this one. So I'm going to use the mirror tool. And I'm going to flip it like that. And then I'm going to do the alignment to center and center, and then from here I am then going to take the main portion of the head. I'm going to lift it up until it is aligned. And we can double check and make sure that is actually aligned by looking at it like this. See how we can kind of see through it a little bit? Let's change the snap grid down to 0.1. Hold Control and use that down arrow. And slowly drop it down until it is perfectly aligned. Now we select both, group it together. And then let's change it to yellow. So we have the main portion of the head. It's kind of a weird yellow. Let's change the yellow here. There we go. That's more like what it should be. Alright, so now we need to make the neck for the head and the top for the head. So both of these are going to follow pretty much the same process, just one's going to be a little bit bigger than the other. Okay? So we're going to bring out another cylinder. First, let's kind of get this guy out of the way a little bit. We're going to bring out a cylinder. For this one, we're going to resize it. We're going to keep it 20 by 20, but we're going to go from 20 on the Z to 8. And then, of course, change the sides, make it nice and smooth. Once that is done, we're going to grab a hold cylinder, bring that out. Same thing, sides go to 64. And then for this one, we're going to change all three axes. We're going to go to 13 by 13 by 15. Oops, probably helps if I click. There we go, 15. And then from here, we are going to align these two. So centered, centered, and group. So we're going to cut out the center portion of this circle right here. Alright, now let's take that, we're going to move that off to the side. We're going to do pretty much the same thing. So we're going to bring out another cylinder, change the sides to 64. This one we're going to resize to 27 by 27 by 6. Okay, then another hold cylinder. Sides go to 64. And then this one, we're going to change to 19 by 19 by 14. And then I'm pretty sure you guys can guess the next step. If you guessed alignment, you guessed right. So we're going to align it, we're going to center it, we're going to group it, and you now have the neck. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring this one over and this one over. You can see kind of that blue box that's underneath it. That's how you can kind of see generally where it's at. And we're going to lift this up because we want this above the head. Okay? The reason why we did that is because we're going to center this and then we're going to slowly move things around, okay? So I'm going to go to where I can select all three of these. I'm going to go to center. So I'm going to center along the X, center along the Y, and then from here, I will move things around. All right? So I'm going to start by moving the top two, and I'm going to bring it down onto the neck, and then I'll move the top back onto it. All right? So I'm going to select the top portion of the head and the main portion of the head, and then I'm going to drop those down until they are just barely touching down here. So I could still see that lip right here, so I want to bring that down just a little bit more until that lip goes away and it looks like this. Alright, so that bottom portion is done. Now I can grab just the top portion and do kind of the same thing. Let's bring it down. I still have it on snap grid 0.1, so it moves really slow. Hold control and the down arrow until you can see that black line right here. Once that kind of goes away, you're down low enough. Right there. Okay? And your overall height for this, for all three of these objects, should be 46, which means I did it right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to group it. Make sure that you change the color to yellow. What I do for the color is I go here, I click on the preset because it'll get me close. It's a little off. And then I go to custom, and this down here should be FFD900, or you just take this little slider right here and you go all the way up into the corner, and I'll give you that kind of that Lego yellow. So that's what I got for you. There is your head. Of course, we need to take it and put it in the shapes collection. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on create shape. And then I will go to and label it. Let's go Lego head. Let's capitalize that L just for me. And save shape. Lego head is saved. And let's lock it so we can't change it. Done. So in the next video we'll go over the arms, and then after that I think all we got left is assembly. So that's what I got. Hopefully you learned something. See you in the next video.